All right, welcome to week 7. So week 7, we're going to dig into dashboards. and the reason we're spending the entire week on this particular format of communication is because this has become a very prolific and pervasive kind of way to look at information. And so we're not going to spend any time really digging into R for data science, really beyond what we're looking at. This is really about visualizing information and communicating well, and so we'll kind of do all this in Tableau. You could do this, using any other tool, but you'd have to sort of program it. You'd have to have some programming to do visualizations, whereas Tableau just lets you do it right out of the box. And a bunch of different mechanisms that we'll go through and a bunch of videos that you'll watch that kind of help you understand how to articulate the data story within Tableau. A dashboard essentially says this: you've got a bunch of data out there, and as opposed to the business coming to you and asking a question, how are we doing in terms of quality? What are our quality metrics in these different factories? What is sales looking like this quarter as opposed to last quarter? And you going back and then saying, well, I don't know, I'll go figure it out. I'll go look at the data, right? You go running and churn through all this stuff, and then you come back with some presentation that says, hey, here's what we've got for last week. And then you do that every single week, every single quarter. What a dashboard allows people to do is, if you hook up to the data set and you build a program automatically goes across all these data sets, you can have some metrics, KPIs actually running on a continual basis. So anytime they want to, they can go to the dashboard and see if they're trending up, see if they're trending down, see if they're red light or they're green light. And when you distill all the data and the programming that you've done in terms of framing data into answers to simple questions like that, then that simple answer can be reflected in a dashboard across whatever they want to see, whether it's across business lines, across different companies, across different regions that they're doing sales, whatever. You can represent those on a continual basis. So when someone pulls up their dashboard that's set up for them, then they can see at a glance everything that's going on that they already asked you about. They typically ask you about. They just load it up there. So it's just like having a dashboard in your car. It's the same kind of reason. The reason they call it that. You look down at the wheel, and you can see how fast you're going. You can see how much gas you got left. You can see how many RPMs are running. All those kinds of things that are important to be able to drive your car. It's all there in the dashboard. This is what we want to be able to do in terms of data. So like I said, it's all going to be run through the Tableau work. So we'll go through, watch some videos, learn how to do this. And then for the assignment this week, we're going to be setting up the dashboard based on some of the Superstore data that we have. I'll let you kind of set one up that looks at some key characteristics that we might want to see. Just some random things that, I just said put out there. It'll be good exercise to kind of build one of these down the road. Discussion question is going to be, again, on dashboard. So having looked through it and understanding kind of how you use these things, where do you think they would be most applicable in your business, that kind of stuff. So have that discussion around that. That's going to be the gist for the week. This will summarize, basically, not summarize, but this will be the last chunk of information that we're learning to get us ready for next week's sort of capstone kind of assignment that we're going to do to bring all this stuff together, including the visualization through the screen. We'll extend a little bit into stories, which is another way to look at multiple dashboards in order to tell an analytical story. But basically what we learned this week is the last bit that you need to know to be able to, that we're going to teach you during this term. And then next week it's all about synthesis and bringing it all together into an assignment. But that's it for this week. Let's dig into some dashboards, and we'll talk later.